to the infinite, all finites are equal. In other words, God can hear the prayers of over 6 billion people at one time and still pay attention to a sparrow that falls to the ground. God can still hear the prayers of opposing teams playing in the Super Bowl and opposing political candidates in an election and still hear both sides and answer both sides. We tend to rank miracles. Listen, here's the revelation. We tend to rank miracles and problems like an Olympic judge ranked gymnastics. Depending on the difficulty of our problems, we give it a number. When it comes to God, it doesn't take more of God to do one thing and less of God to do another thing. Can I talk just a minute here? It's that view of God that gets us in trouble and believing God for one thing and doubting him for another. God does all things the same amount of godness to do it. Help me, Lord. The same amount of godness is required to do all things of God. God doesn't take a piece of God to do the little thing and a big piece of God to do a bigger thing. God brings all of God to anything that he deals with. Hello, come on. Can you get what I'm saying here? I think you're missing the point of what I'm saying. God brings the same amount of God to God any problem he's dealing with. Some of you have been ranking your problems and therefore ranking your God. It's going to take a lot of God to do this. The same amount of God that can heal my cold is the same amount of God that can cure my cancer. The same amount of God that can turn my life around is the same amount of God that can put my family back together. Quit thinking in measures of God. God is equal to do anything that he's required to do. Slap your neighbor high five and say, go hard for God.